Hoops talk for the streets.
Speaking of action, let's get right into this action, man. Much to discuss as usual. Copping and dropping. You know how we start each and every episode. I throw out a hot take. Remo, if you agree, you copping. If you disagree, you dropping. The topic this episode, Kemba Walker benched. Let's start off talking about these Knicks, man, because they've been pissing me off lately, these Knicks, with their play of late. And something isn't right with this team, man. Struggling to find the magic of last season. Basically a 500 team this year. Top 5 in defense last year, to bottom 20 in defense this year. Most of that has been going towards the direction of my guy, Kemba Walker. So much so that Tibbs had the audacity to bench my son. Not only bench him, take him out of the rotation, which to me is a ridiculous thing to do, but we're about to talk about that. And he will not be going forward in favor of Alec Burks. Their record since Kemba was benched, 1-3, averaging 11 and 3 assists, 24 minutes this season. So he has been having a down year. From being the marquee summer signee to now collecting checks on the bench for free. My guy, Kemba Walker. Say it ain't so, Remo. Copping or dropping his take, brother. The New York Knicks made the biggest mistake of the season by benching Kemba Walker. Copping or dropping?
I'm dropping that.
Talk to me.
It was the best thing they could have did.
Oh my God. Ready for the disrespect.
Listen,
Tell me what.
We came on this podcast and we told you just. Shout out to Damo. We miss you, bro. Got to get you back here soon. But we called it. We said, listen, Kemba ain't it no more. He don't got it, right? And I'm going to give you an example. We got D-Rose. We actually said D-Rose was going to surpass him as the point guard.
Yeah, I asked who was going to be the MVP of the next season. Or I said, was Kemba going to be the MVP of the next season? Copping or dropping? Y'all both dropped it. I only copped it and y'all dropped. So yeah, you're right.
We said that D-Rose was actually going to be the one to take over, which eventually he will be the one because Alec Burks is not a point guard. But if you want to compare D-Rose's numbers to Kemba's numbers, D-Rose off the bench is averaging 12 to Kemba's 11.
Yeah.
Assists, kind of in the same range, 2 to 2.5. D-Rose with 4 rebounds. Kemba with 3. And this is off the bench roll. Playing around the same minutes because, I don't think Tibbs actually believed in Kemba.
Which is one of the problems right there. But go ahead.
But we called it. And it's showing the fruition.
But wait, what did you call? Call what?
I knew he was going to fall out the rotation. Kemba hasn't been Kemba in a long time.
Stop it. No,
he hasn't been Kemba in a long time, bro.
Last year he averaged, 16 out of 18, I believe.
That's cute.
16 to 18. That's still more than Alec Burks, more than Evan Fournier, more than RJ. If that right there, those numbers would be second on the Knicks right now. If he was getting those same kind of opportunities, touches. And go ahead. Did I cut you off?
Does his knees hold up?
Well, that's one of the issues, but I feel like the Knicks already knew that coming in, that you're going to have to load management, basically, Kemba Walker throughout the season. The Celtics were doing it. The Hornets were doing it a little bit too, but which was kind of the last all-star year, basically, for Kemba. But I don't like this for 2 reasons, right? You tell me what you think. 2 reasons I don't like this. I don't like this from a chemistry.
Hold on. Yeah. Are you copping or dropping it?
Oh, shit. I'm copping it. That was a huge, colossal mistake. I think it was the biggest mistake of this season, and I think it's going to have ripple effects going forward, which is why I'm copping this. I think it was a big mistake. So for 2 reasons, like I said, I think from a chemistry standpoint, I hate this move. And I don't like it from a basketball standpoint, this move. From a chemistry standpoint, I see how when you look at Tibbs singling out, you tell me about this, singling out a veteran player, a well-respected player in the league, and not only telling him that, maybe I'm going to reduce your minutes a little bit. Maybe let's switch some things up in the lineup, have some more coverages. I'm going to bring you off the bench, so we can get a different feel of the starting lineup. Maybe we want to go back to a more defensive team, which is what he's trying to do, I guess. But Burks is no stopper. But you could have dialed it back in a way which was incremental. Like reduce his minutes, take him off the bench, rather than cold turkey, point blank, you're out of the rotation. Because when they talked to Kemba, he didn't even know it was coming. So it was a shock to him. And I'm sure he was taken aback by damn, hold up. I'm the marquee signee this summer. I didn't sign for a lot of money for you guys. I signed for $8 million. It was a steal for everybody. It was a good deal for everyone. A coming home party. All of this for the Garden supposed to upgrade the offense, and you just take me out the rotation 20 games in?
Yeah, I'm agree with you. It was disrespectful, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
But my thing is, if you have, say, the same veteran, you got accolades and stuff, you do have that in Derrick Rose right next to you.
Yeah, but Derrick Rose already he's taking off the bench, though. I don't think D-Rose has no problem coming off the bench.
Exactly what I'm saying is he's understanding of that already. And when you come in the game, you know you can get busy. I don't know if Kemba in that mind frame, when you start and you're not getting the productivity that they expected, and we don't know what you are in that role coming off the bench.
But why won't they try it out?
Because now that secondary role you're taking away from D Rose, but you know what he brings.
So then you can start D Rose, because there were a few games that D Rose started in the playoffs because they needed him. Remember, they had Alfred Payton, and they wanted to murder Alfred Payton all season.
Nikola Latino
up there. So I feel like putting Derrick Rose maybe as a starting lineup would have been another thing they could do. Even you can still maybe start Alec Burks like you wanted to do, but bring Kemba and D Rose off the bench in another way. Maybe you have a 2-guard attacking combo coming off the bench and start something new, maybe.
Because you still got Quickly.
Yeah, somebody has to.
It's a lot. They got a lot of guards in rotation there.
They do, but the problem is none of those guards are elite right now. All of those guards are, rotational pieces and great rotational pieces, but none of them are elite. So I think when you have 4 guards, and then you throw Fournier, he's a guard in there too, just a 2-guard. Yeah. RJ Barrett is technically also a 2-guard also. He just plays the 3 now, but he really is a 2 also.
Yeah.
That's 5-6 guards right there for those 2 positions. So I agree with that, but to me, that means that they didn't think about this coming in or bringing Kemba in. It's
a good problem to have, though, that you got enough guards where you don't have to play a player that's not producing the way you feel he should be producing. But it's a sad thing because Kemba is from the town.
That's why I think it's a slap in the face. It's
kind of embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. And then remember, other players on the bench, other players on the team are looking around like, damn, if Tibbs can't ride with the gang right now, 20 games in, you can't even rock with Kemba Walker, who is an established vet. I believe he won the Sportsmanship Award 2 years in a row. So he's a well-respected dude in the league, respected in like NBA communities and giving back and all that stuff. So that I say that to say this, that there comes a human aspect of benching a guy. And not only benching the guy, taking him out the rotation. If he was a star on somebody else's team, you were a max contract player. You're not anymore, yes, clearly. But you have no problems coming with a reduced role. He had no problems saying, I'm going to take less shots. He's playing 24 minutes, son. 24 minutes is not a lot for you to make like the biggest, like your usual impact when you're used to playing 30 minutes, 35 minutes a night or whatever. And I'm surprised that you saying this because you're a Melo guy. And you see how the Rockets treated Melo 10 games in. Was that enough to evaluate what Melo was doing? If he was that effective to shut him down? That wasn't enough games. So how is 18, 20 games enough to say that Kemba wasn't good enough?
No, but they sent Melo home. They didn't shut him down. They sent him home. It was a little different.
It was another level of disrespect.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
But I feel like it's in the same category of disrespect to me, I think.
I get it. I can respect it as well.
When you sign me, remember they signed Melo to come there and say, yo, I need you to help out with the squad. Players lobbied for him. Kemba Walker, the other players lobbied for him to come to like, yo, we could use a guy like that. We needed an upgrade from Alfred Payton. So what?
You think they did that more of a PR move or actual basketball move?
I think both. I think they saw that it can benefit both because it was a good PR move. It was great to have a hometown kid come in. Everyone from New York loves New York point guards.
And that's because it didn't land the big fish. That was an attraction. So Kemba being from New York, it was a cute story.
It was. And so I think, to me, the issue that I have with it is taking him out of the rotation, number one. And to me, taking him out of the rotation is like an insult. And it's an insult because it looks like you're blaming all of the Knicks' problems right now on one guy when he's not the only issue. Like Kenny Smith said it in the intro. You can't have a Ferrari and drive that shit 30 miles per hour. There's no point of that. So if you got Kemba Walker here knowing that he's not a defensive stopper. He's not a defensive player. I don't think anyone would think that or anyone thought that prior to him coming here. So you brought him in here for offense. You brought him in here to get buckets. put him in situations where you can unleash his bucket get.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Kenny Smith, his quote, how much miles an hour do you think Kemba can really run right now? I'm just saying.
More than 30.
I'm just saying.
More than 30, though.
That's like 160 on the dash. What you think he can give you right now?
I think Kemba can give you 18 still.
Think so?
Yeah, I think he can give you 15, 18. He's playing 24 minutes and shooting 11 or 12 shots. That's not really a lot. And Kemba's not a Chuck like that. So it's not like he's not Russ. So he's not going to be shooting every single time he gets the ball, something like that. So to me, benching him just looks like they're pinning. He just looks like the scapegoat for how the Knicks have been playing, and I don't like that. And
just aggression.
Yeah, and I think this looks really bad on Tibbs actually, because I think Tibbs is playing his hand a little bit too much now. Instead of trying to ride it out with your guys, I think this is too much of a drastic move, and this move is like a will it work or will it won't work? Because if it works, he may look good, but if it doesn't work, to me, this is a fireable offense. Fireable offense if this doesn't work. Because right now the Knicks are out of the playoff picture, and if they stay that way or in the playoff,
yeah, because they should be building on what was last year.
Exactly,
I get it.
So to me, messing up the chemistry like that, because all the players are looking like, damn, if I don't play good, I might be out the rotation right now.
They had a good starting week.
They did, and Knicks fans may be able to blame for this shit
New York
too.
was going crazy. Yo, y'all gotta relax.
Knicks fans, they gotta relax. Listen, New York City, man. I know y'all love y'all Knicks.
Gotta relax.
Gotta relax a little bit. And you know what's crazy? They haven't relaxed because the Knicks have lost 7 of 12 in the Garden. Under 500 record in the Garden right now. For all that hooting and hollering, giving Fournier $74 million. What about that? Was that a great signing? I mean, he's solid, but $74 million?
Shout out to the Olympics.
Come on, man. Got that boy paid. And they want to blame Kemba Walker so much. We got to look at Julius Randle also. Julius Randle has not been the same this season. I talked about it last episode. His body language has been poor all season. He's bitching to the refs all game, complaining about calls. He said they told him he's not getting called because he's too strong. So he's not getting no NBA calls. And I think he needs to be accountable also, because they're talking about the lack of defense with the Knicks. You got to look at him. I mean, he's at the point of attack, that power forward center position. They should be your two anchors of the defense, as well as the point guard. So would you say Julius Randle has been the same this season as he was last year?
He's been the same for the last 3-4 seasons to me. Julius Randle is who Julius Randle is.
Is he a number one option?
It's not on a real team, no. On the Knicks, of course. But like, Julius is Julius. Like, he's extra strong. He got a broken right hand. He complains a lot, and he makes very poor decisions down the stretch. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's either he's hot or he's just not. And they live and die with him. And
I haven't seen any improvement from his dinner being eaten by John Collins last year in the postseason. John Collins ate his dinner and his brunch in the playoffs. And do I see Randle going to his right a little bit more? No. Do I see any more moves? Like, do you see new moves from Randle this year?
No, it's power-ups, it's spins, it's turning into double teams, it's overshooting.
Over-dribbling.
Oh, I've been said it on this same podcast. He's no good more than 4 dribbles.
He dribbles a lot more than that.
and his favorite move to get away is a hard spin move into a double.
It's a hard spin too. It's a strong spin. He's talking about strong.
Turnover.
And a turnover. So, like I said, man, the Knicks need to do better. I think it's a fireable offense by Tom Thibodeau if it doesn't work out the way that he thinks it would. And I think he needs to sit Kemba Walker down and say, yo, come back into the rotation, but maybe less minutes, or come off the bench, or we'll utilize you a little bit different.
Before we move on for that, I think coaches should go to players and tell them what could be more productive in the timing that you are playing versus I'm going to bench you because you're not giving me what I need. But what I'm giving you is what I can do in your system. Let's have a conversation and maybe we can meet in the middle. And if I don't do what you need in that, all right, I'm just not part of what you need.
I agree. That's communication too. Yeah. That's communication.
Being transparent.
Yeah, so I don't like that. And I'm actually surprised by Tibbs because I thought he was a straight shooter and just letting people know, listen, man, this is what I need from you. You're not giving me this. Let me sit you down. But out the rotation is a little crazy to me. Let's move on.